It's been a long 6 years for all of us, but at the end of all this, we've been assembling an enormous amount of talent, and we're really excited to be on the eve of the playoffs with a team that we think that can make a deep playoff run. We're proud of what we've done on the court this year so far with the second 50-plus game season, first time in 30 years. Really, for us, the season starts now, and this is what we've been playing for. We've got we have obviously had 2 players in the All-Star game. We've got 2 other All-Star caliber players. JJ had a great season. Off the court, we were in China and we helped thousands of kids. But right now, what we're really focused on is making the run. And so I wanted to speak with everyone and also thank a few people. First of all, our players. I know, Elton knows, and I think even you all know that they've worked incredibly hard to get us here, and we really appreciate it. And we have the confidence in them that they'll take us where we need to go. It's been awesome working with this guy on my right. I hope he's up for, and I hope he gets GM of the Year. Grabbing Tobias and Jimmy and Boban and everything he's done during the year really has kind of underscored to me that we made the right decision when we put him in the seat. And it's not just him. There's a really deep team below him, led by Alex Rucker, Ned Cohen, Mark Eversley. Brett, I'd like to thank Brett for the tremendous job he's done in getting us, to these 50-plus win seasons. He's played an important role in the growth of this team and the organization, and he's been, side by side with me over the last 6 years. And then lastly, our fans. Philly, you stuck with us, you believed in us, you have high expectations, but we appreciate that, and we're working hard not to let you down. So with that, bring on the Nets, game 1. We're heading into this game focused on our task, and thanks again for all of you being here today, and just open it up for whatever questions you might have.
Josh, what are your expectations for the postseason?
We all have high expectations. I think we want to make a deep playoff run. So I think we have the talent to do it. Obviously we need to gel. We need to do it out there on the court. The players need to do it, but we've got high expectations.
How would you define a deep playoff run?
We're going to take it one series at a time. Let's start by beating the Nets, but let's move forward from there.
You made the statement a couple weeks back. Do you expect to advance further than last season? Do you still stand by that? Or?
Yeah, I think we have the talent to do that.
When you look at Brett over the last 6 years in the context of an NBA that has a lot of upheaval every year this time, talk about his sort of stability and culture that he's built here over really a transitional period, a long period of time.
Brett's a great coach. He's been there for the highs, he's been there for the lows, he's carried our culture. And I'm excited that he's our coach going into the playoffs. I've got a lot of confidence that he's going to take us where we need to go.
Josh, what would it take for Brett's job to be in jeopardy? Just in very simple terms.
Yeah, we're really right now. I think we're supportive of Brett, and we think he's the right leader to take us where we need to go in the playoffs. And I'm excited. I'm focused on the Brooklyn Nets. And he's focused on the Brooklyn Nets.
Josh, how much do you anticipate the playoffs? Jimmy and Tobias are free agents. JJ is a free agent. How much do you anticipate the playoffs having, an effect on if you guys resign?
I think that those guys are all great players. They appreciate being in. They like our system. We like them, and I'm hopeful that they'll be playing with us for a long, long time.
For a long time. Are you? Do you mean 5-year max for both players?
Yeah, I don't think it's right now to talk about specific terms, and this gentleman's going to figure it out. But I think that it's really hard to get playoffs of that players of that caliber, and now that we've attracted them into our system, we're going to work really hard to keep them around for a while.
Elton, is there anything you guys as a team can do to maximize Joel's health, keep him in better shape? Whatever's wrong with him next year, his history shows he just has the kind of body where you have to accept these kind of injuries.
It's a learning curve, of course, but our athlete care department's on top of it, and Joel's on top of it. He's doing everything in his power to be ready for the playoffs, to be ready for the regular season. So I'm confident he'll be able to withstand the rigors of a regular season and a playoff series, and playoff series beyond.
In hindsight, Elton, do you think maybe he played too much in the first half of the year, too many games, too many minutes, that maybe that should have been regulated more to, as Brett says, land the plane now with him healthy?
Yeah, we discussed it, last press conference I was here. Yeah, he's aware. He wanted to be out there. He felt good. He presented well. In hindsight, us, athlete care, myself, we'll make sure we monitor it. We have monitored it, and we believe Joel when he feels good, he will play. He wants to play. It's not like he's trying to take time off.
Josh, I know this is lower down the totem pole than Joel's health, obviously. Why did you decide not to convert Shake's contract ahead of the playoffs? You got a chance to play a lot more down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, Shake had a great rookie season in the G League. After talking to Brett, once he shrunk the rotation down to 7.5, 8, maybe 9 players, it was evident Shake wouldn't play. So our goal is for him to be here long term, and his development's important. But once it was evident he wouldn't play, there was no need to convert him at this time.
Yeah, with all the coaching dismissals in the league this week, have any franchises reached out to you about Monty Williams?
I'm sure they will. We have a wealth of talent in our coaching level. We lost Billy, we lost Lloyd last year. He did a great job. So, I'm sure they'll be reaching out.
And how will you handle that?
If it's a head coaching opportunity, it's going to be tough to say no. We respect that, and an opportunity to have more responsibility and to be a head coach for any of our staff or anyone on our staff to have a deeper role. We'll honor that. We don't want disruptions, we don't want distractions, but it is what it is.
Josh, do you have thoughts on Joel's fitness and Joel's health?
I think Joel's a warrior, and he's gonna drive. We have a great medical staff, and between Joel and the medical staff, they're gonna optimize. They're gonna make it happen together.
Gosh, I guess in sports, it's not always common to take the long view from an ownership standpoint. I mean, what has that been like the last 6 years, and then seeing how the long view has come to fruition?
Yeah, look, we've been consistent, and in terms of, doing those things that sort of were going to help us build an elite team and trying to bring a championship to Philly, and unfortunately, and there's no shortcuts to the top. There's only shortcuts to the middle, and it meant sort of living through a couple tough seasons, and then more recently it meant putting a great organization in place, and then kind of likely going forward, it's going to mean, spending some money to keep some really talented players. So I think it evolves, but it's not done very much in sports. But sitting here today, it's nice to now be in the position to win.
And as you look at this time last year in the postseason or now, I mean, is the feeling you get when you're going out there, is it better than you expected? Like when you first got in this and went down this path?
It's exciting. It's exciting to be here, and it's exciting to be with this group of guys.
Josh, shifting gears, why sell Crystal Palace?
I'm sorry?
Shifting gears, why sell Crystal Palace?
Crystal Palace is having a great season. I enjoy being involved with it. I read the press reports, but don't really comment on stuff like that.
Josh, Elton, Joel's a guy who he always speaks publicly how he wants to be out there for every game. Is it possible during this span that maybe he wasn't totally forthright with the severity of maybe the discomfort and pain he had with his knee?
When he spoke to myself, when he spoke to the media, I thought he was pretty transparent about how he felt. I didn't see anything that said otherwise.
Josh, when you were quoted a while back as saying it would be problematic if teams didn't do better than their previous year. Since I wasn't there, could you clarify what you meant by that? And to that extent, would you say that Brett Brown will be your coach next year no matter what happens in these playoffs?
What I meant by it is that all of us, Brett, Elton, me, all of us, the players, the team, we have high expectations. And so, that's what I meant. And look, I think that we have a lot of confidence in Brett. We're glad that he is leading us into the playoffs, and we're focused on the Nets. Like, we're focused on winning series, and that's what we're here to talk about today.
Thank you, guys.